Hey there, I want to show you Multifactor's KDF benchmarking tool that allows you to get optimal parameters for a bunch of different key derivation functions. Let's go ahead and see how it works. Over here, I'm going to hit run sweep for Argon2 ID. What this is going to do is run with a bunch of different memory parameters and a bunch of different time costs, honing in on that time cost to find the one that's going to give us as close to possible to our target latency, in this case of 500 milliseconds. If we look at this graph, furthest to the right, we have our optimal configuration. What it's doing is running with a space cost of 16 megabytes and a time cost of 61. Our heuristic at this moment in time is to optimize for picking the longest amount of iterations that we can, or time cost, and minimizing the space cost, at least with some lower bound in mind, in this case 16 megabytes. There's a bunch of different options here that you can choose from and go ahead and run. And if you run one of these, you can grab it by just clicking and copy and pasting that JSON. On the right, I'm going to show you how you can also access this information with our API. Let me go ahead and show you. So I'm going to pull up our API v1, go ahead and curl that, and what we'll get out is this. In this case, we're going to be able to pick from all the different kinds of KDFs that we have with their underlying settings like Argon2D, 2I, 2ID, and underlying hash functions if that KDF uses that. At the moment, we have a single percentile option, which allows you to pick a device that is going to represent something like being slower than, in this case, 95% of all other devices. At this moment, we're using a Raspberry Pi 4B as a representative in that case. We can then pick latency options, much like I did on the left side in the UI. In this case, I'm going to pick 500 as well, and as I go through this, I'll show you what we get out for Balloon, SHA-2, 256, with the 95 percentile and 500 millisecond latency. Again, this is pulling from our runs with the Raspberry Pi. We'll see here that what we get is a space cost of 16. This is something like 16 megabytes of memory. And then a time cost of 1,000. This is like 1,000 iterations through this. So let us know what you think of this tool. We imagine that it's useful for people who want to keep the most up-to-date and secure settings for their key derivation functions. And when we have this set up with multi-factor key derivation function, you'll be able to use this to update the settings of this over time without having to derive a new key, giving you that adaptive and up-to-date security that you'll be looking for.